Hi everyone, very good evening to you. Welcome to the hub. Okay, last week we discussed about the NFP data, the non-farm payroll data that was released. It was very important to highlight that the amount of jobs that were added by the non-farm industry came at about 272,000 jobs for the month of May. And the effect of the rise in the amount of jobs created by that sector was a strengthening in the US dollar. The US dollar picked up beats across board, with leading to a downfall in the likes of gold and every other that had been traded against the USD. So USD picked up some level of strength, and it looks to have been strengthened lately. So today we're going to be looking forward to another pair of data that hopefully is going to trigger some form of volatility once again. And this data to some persons or to some traders seem to be the most important data of the month, and we are referring to no other data than the Consumer Price Index, CPI. CPI is the percentage change in the prices of goods and services over the month. So we're going to be looking at the month of May. Okay, the month of May. How are the prices of goods and services fared? Okay, so we also be looking at the Core CPI data. The Core CPI data is referring to the change in the prices of goods and services, excluding the food and energy sector. Okay, so that's why it's called the Core CPI data, because the food and energy prices or costs accounts to about 1/4 of the actual CPI numbers. Recall last week, after the release of the non-farm payroll data, we were here to bring to you what to expect in the aftermath of that release. We told you that because we've gotten some data that strengthened the USD, we should be expecting some minor pullbacks from the altcoins, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and we also expected Bitcoin to fall from about 71k, which it traded at about last week, down to the 60s. And if you go to your charts, you can obviously find out that Bitcoin currently sits at about 67,200 and something k or thereabout. So tomorrow's data may also dictate the further direction of the market. Okay, expecting that the core CPI data comes in at 0.3%. So if it becomes worse than expected, data comes in at 0.3%. So if it becomes worse than expected, or in this case, if it turns in green, like instead of 0.3, you're getting like 0.4, it tells you that the core CPI is on the rise. And what happens when the inflation data goes up? Of course, the central bank in the US, Fed, will want to hold interest rates for longer. So what happens at the end of the day is that you're going to have some strength in the USD. So that's the projection for core CPI data. So the main CPI year on year is projected to hit 3.4% for the month of May. Should it get worse than that, or maybe when we begin to witness a value in upwards of 3.4%, then there is that tendency to have interest rates being held for longer. It tells you that inflation in the US still has a very long way to go before cooling off. Okay, so those are the data you should be looking forward to. If you're getting all of them coming up in greens, of course expect the US dollar to strengthen across board. So later in the day, you're going to be having the Fed chairman, Mr. Jerome Powell, coming out to highlight the economic projections for the US, and also giving what the federal funds rate will be like. So the interest rate for the month of June, what is going to be like. So from the statistics we have, we're projecting that the Fed is going to keep interest rates at 5.5%. So remember last week we highlighted some of the central banks that had reduced interest rate, like the Bank of Canada that had reduced interest rate. We also had the European Central Bank that also reduced interest rate. So we're expecting the US Fed to hold interest rate. So if it comes out just as we are projecting that they hold interest rate, of course it's going to signal yet another boost for the dollar. So you're going to have those key data releases tomorrow that will determine the next direction of the market. Okay, you want to watch out for Euro USD pairs. Euro has been has underperformed lately due to the fact that the ECB had reduced interest rates coupled with the call for elections in France. Okay, has had some kind of downward pressure on the euro. So if the US data comes in stronger, you may want to expect some selling activity with the Euro USD. Same applies to USD JPY. Okay, USD JPY, if you get a data that seems to be US favorable, US dollar favorable, of course you want to be bullish for the USD JPY. Another very important commodity you want to take into cognizance is gold. Okay, gold trades in an inverse relationship to the USD. So if the USD turns out bullish tomorrow, of course it's going to exert a very serious downward pressure on gold as a commodity. So I think we're going to be wrapping it up for today. If you liked this video, to share, like, and subscribe to our YouTube videos also, so you can get more and more updates and as we pull up our videos. So until then, do well to apply risk management on your trades and stay safe. See you in our next video.